Our progress report says we are now at stage 5, paragraph page 346. And our last headword was persuade, a newer type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with our revision. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. First question is no. Would you lend me some money if I ask you? Would you lend me some money if I ask you? Yes or no? No,
No,
I
I
wouldn't
don't.
lend
I
you
wouldn't rent
any
you
money
any
if you
money
ask
if
me.
you ask me.
That's correct. It breaks friendship. Okay, next. If you lent something to somebody and they didn't return it, what did you do? If you lent something to somebody and they didn't return it, what did you do? If I lent
If
something
I lent
to
something
somebody
to
and they
somebody
didn't return it,
and they didn't return
I'd
it,
ask them
I'd
to return it.
ask them to return it.
Very good. Okay, next. What's his first name? What's his first name? His first name's
His
Jack.
first name is Jack.
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 What's her last name? What's her surname? Her surname's
Her
Brown.
surname's Brown.
Very good. Would you like to be famous? Would you like to be famous? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
like to be famous.
like to be famous.
What's a film star? What's a film star? A film star
A film
is a
star
famous
is
actor
a famous actor
or
or
actress in the cinema world.
actress in the cinema world.
Very good. Tell me the names of some famous film stars. Tell me the names of some famous film stars, please. The names of
The
some
names
famous
of some famous
film
film
stars
stars
are Johnny Depp,
are Johnny Depp,
Penelope Cruz,
Penelope Cruz,
uh,
and
Naomi Watanabe, etc.
Naomi Watanabe, etc.
Very good. Okay. Name a few famous people in history. Name a few famous people in history, please. A few famous
A
people
few famous
in
people
history
in
are
history
Shakespeare,
are Shakespeare,
Einstein,
Michelangelo, Einstein,
Michelangelo, etc.
etc.
Very good. What's the most industrial city in your country? What's the most industrial city in your country? Tokyo is the most
Tokyo is the most
industrial city
industrial city
in my
in my
country.
country.
What's the most agricultural region of your country? What's the most agricultural region of your country?
Hokkaido is
Is the
the
most
most
agricultural region
agricultural region
of
in
my
my
country.
country.
Of my
Of my
country.
country.
Or in my country is also correct. Next,
Mhm.
what do we say when we apologize for doing something wrong? What do we say when we apologize for doing something wrong? When we
When
apologize
we
for doing
apologize
something
for
wrong,
doing something
we
wrong,
say, I'm
we
sorry.
say, I'm sorry.
If you keep somebody waiting for a long time, should you apologize? If you keep somebody waiting for a long time, should you apologize? Yes. If you
Yes,
keep
if you
somebody
keep
waiting
somebody
for
waiting
a long time,
for a long
you
time,
should apologize.
you should apologize.
What's the noun of the verb apologize? What's the noun of the verb apologize? The noun of
The
the
noun
verb
of the verb
apologize is
apologize is
apology.
apology.
Very good. How can we help to avoid becoming ill? How can we help to avoid becoming ill? We can help to
We can
avoid
help to
becoming ill
avoid
by
become
living,
ill.
by
I,
living,
I, I,
by
I,
living a healthy life.
I living a
Healthy life.
healthy life.
Very good. One more. We can help to
We can help
avoid becoming
to
ill
avoid becoming ill
by living a
by
healthy life.
living a healthy life.
Very good. Do you have to bend down if you want to touch your feet? Do you have to bend down if you want to touch your feet? No, I don't
No,
have to
I
bend
don't
down
have to bend
if
down
I want to
if
touch
I
my feet.
want to touch my feet,
But it would be
but it would
the
be
easiest way.
the easiest way.
Very good. Okay, which do you think was the best century in history to live in? Which do you think was the best century in history to live in? I think the
I think
21st
the
century
21st century
was the best century
was the best century
in history to live
to
in.
to live in.
One more. I think the
I think
21st
the
century
21st century
was the best century
was the best century
in history
in
to
history
live in.
To live in.
Very good. Do you like the fashion in clothes at the moment? Do you like the fashion in clothes at the moment? Yes or no?
No, I
I
don't
don't like the
like
fashion in
the
clothes
fashion in
at
clothes
the
at the
moment.
moment.
Very good. Okay. Does this school have a gate outside it? Does this school have a gate outside it? No. This
No,
school
this
doesn't have a
school
gate
doesn't have a gate
outside it.
outside it.
Very good. Do some people worry too much? Do some people worry too much? Yes. Some people
Yes, some
worry too
people
much.
worry too
Are
much.
you worried about your future? Are you worried about your future? Yes or no?
No,
I'm
I,
not
I
worried
don't. I'm not worried
about my future.
about my future.
Why should you not worry if you don't immediately understand some of the grammar in this book? Why should you not worry if you don't immediately understand some of the grammar in this book? I shouldn't worry
I shouldn't
if
worry
I don't
if I
immediately
don't immediately
understand some of
understand
the grammar in
some
this
of
book
some of the grammar in this book
because I will always
because
practice
I will
it again
always practice it again
in other lessons
in other
and
lessons.
I can study it
And
at
I can
home.
study it at home.
Very good. One more. I shouldn't worry
I
if I
shouldn't
don't
worry if I
immediately
don't
understand
immediately
some of the
understand
grammar in this book.
some of the grammar in
In
this
this book
book
because I will practice
because
it
I
again
will practice it
in
again
other lessons
in other
and I
lessons
can study it
and I
at
can
home.
study it at home.
Very good. When we're in a hurry, what must we do? When we're in a hurry, what must we do? When we're in a
When
hurry,
we are in a
we
hurry,
must run.
we must run. We
Very
must
good.
run.
We must run. What's the furthest you've ever run? What's the furthest you've ever run? The furthest I've
The
ever run
farthest I ever run
is
is 1 kilometer.
very good. Okay, next. When do we use the present continuous? When do we use the present continuous? We use the
We
present
use the
continuous
present
for
continuous
an action
for an action
that is in progress
that is
now.
in progress now.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I am speaking
I am
English
speaking
now.
English now.
When do we use the past continuous? When do we use the past continuous? We use the
We
past
use the
continuous
past
for
continuous
an action
for an action
that was in
that
progress
was in progress
at a particular
at
time
a particular time
in the past.
in the past.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I was speaking
I
English
was speaking
at
English
this time
at
yesterday.
this time yesterday.
Very good. Were you chatting to anybody when I came into the room at the beginning of the lesson? Were you chatting to anybody when I came into the room at the beginning of the lesson? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
wasn't
wasn't
chatting to anybody
chatting to anybody
when I came into
when
the
I
room
came into the
at the
room
beginning of the lesson.
at the beginning of the lesson.
Very good. Were the students standing or sitting when I left the classroom at the end of the last lesson? Were the students standing or sitting when I left the classroom at the end of the last lesson? The students were
The students were sitting
when you left the
when you
classroom
left the classroom
at the end of the
at the
last
end of
lesson.
the last lesson.
Very good. Was it raining while you were coming to school today? Was it raining while you were coming to school today? Yes or no?
Yes,
It
I,
was raining
it was raining
while I was coming
while I was coming
to school today.
to school today.
Very good. What were you doing at this time last Sunday? What were you doing at this time last Sunday? I was
I was I, I
I was
was
out with my
eating
friends. Right.
out yes
I
out
was eating
eating
at
eating dinner
this time
at this time
last Sunday.
last Saturday.
Very good. Do you think most people in your town were sleeping at midnight last night? Do you think most people in your town were sleeping at midnight last night? Yes, I think
Yes, I think
most people in my
most
town
people in my town
were sleeping
were sleeping
at midnight last
at
night.
midnight last night.
Very good. Okay, next. Where were you living 10 years ago? Where were you living 10 years ago? I was living in,
I was living in here
I was living
in
here, Omar, I
I was
was
living
living here
I was living here
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Very good. About how much does a doctor earn a year in your country? About how much does a doctor earn a year in your country? A doctor earns
A doctor
about
earned about 1 million yen
a year, a year? Like
a
that's a
year.
month. Like let's say a doctor earns
A
about
doctor earns about
like 30
um,
million yen
30 million
a
yen
year in my
a
country.
year in my country.
Very good. Okay. Would it be okay for a man to wear jeans and trainers if he was going to a formal dinner? Would it be okay for a man to wear jeans and trainers if he was going to a formal dinner? No, I
No,
wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't
No,
be
it
okay
wouldn't be okay
for a man
for a
to
man
wear
to
jeans
wear jeans
and trainers
and
if he was
trainers.
going
If he
to a
was
formal
going
dinner.
to a formal
He should
dinner,
wear a suit
he should
and
wear a
tie.
suit and tie.
Well, good. When we meet somebody for the first time, what can we say? When we meet somebody for the first time, what can we say? When we meet
When we
somebody
meet
for the first
somebody
time,
for the first
we
time,
can say,
we
nice to
can
meet you.
say, "Nice to meet you."
And what do we say if we want to be more formal? And what do we say if we want to be more formal? If we want to
If we
be
want
more
to
formal,
be more
we
formal,
say, how do you do?
we say, "How do you do?"
And what does the other person reply? And what does the other person reply? The other person
The other person
replies, how do you
will
do?
reply, "How do you do?"
Very good. Is it easy to persuade people to give their money away? Is it easy to persuade people to give their money away? No, it
No,
isn't
it
easy
isn't
to
easy
persuade
to
people
persuade people
to give their money
to
away.
give the money away.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
Very good again. That's the end of our revision. Let's have new
Okay.
word. Okay, so let's start new word. Okay, repeat. Hairdresser.
A hairdresser.
Hairdresser. Very good. Listen, a hairdresser is a noun. It is a person who cuts, washes, and arranges people's hair in a particular style. For example, I go to the hairdressers 5 times a year. Well, actually, I just go once a year. Okay, let's practice. How often do you go to the hairdressers? How often do you go to the hairdressers? I go to the
I go to the
hairdressers.
hairdressers
How many times a year?
uh,
Once,
uh,
twice,
once, twice
once,
a
twice a year, every six
twice a
months.
year, every 6 months.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. So,
So
interesting,
interesting,
exciting.
exciting.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word so is an adverb. It means very, so very. For example, some films are very popular, or we can say some films are so popular. Interesting is an adjective. It means something unusual or exciting, not boring. For example, I like English a lot. English interests me. It's interesting. Exciting is an adjective. It means making you feel excited. For example, I think some films are so popular because they tell interesting or exciting stories. Let's practice. Why do you think some films are so popular? Why do you think some films are so popular? I think some
I
films
think some
are so
films
popular
are so popular
because they
be-
tell
because they tell
interesting
interesting
or exciting
or
stories.
exciting stories
Very good. Next, repeat grammatically.
grammatically.
Very good. Okay, listen. Grammatically is it means relating to or concerning grammar. For example, it isn't grammatically correct to say I've seen her yesterday. We should say I saw her yesterday instead. Let's practice. Is it grammatically correct to say I've seen her yesterday? Is it grammatically correct to say I've seen her yesterday? No, it isn't
No, it
grammatically
isn't
correct
grammatically correct
to say I've
to
seen her
say I've
yesterday.
seen her yesterday.
We should say
We should
I
say
saw her yesterday
I saw
instead.
her yesterday instead.
Very good. Next, repeat bathroom,
Classroom,
bath,
bath,
shower,
shower,
shower, toilet,
toilet,
basin.
basin.
Very good. Okay, listen. Bath is a noun. It is a large, long container that you will fill with water and sit or lie to wash yourself. It is the British English of bathtub. So English, American English bathtub. In British English, is just bath. For
Mhm.
example, we take a bath. We wash our body in a bath filled with water, or a bathtub filled with water. Shower is a noun. It is a piece of equipment that you stand under to wash your whole body. For example, we wash our body while standing under a shower. I prefer shower to baths. Let's practice. Oh no, one more. A rain shower is a short period of rain. Toilet is a large bowl that you sit on to get rid of waste matter from your body. For example, I've got stomachache. I need to go to the toilet. Basin is also known as a sink. If it is also a round container that you wash your hands or face on, or you do toothbrush also in the sink or basin. Bathroom is a noun. It is a room where it usually contains a bath or a shower, a toilet, and a basin. Let's practice. What does a bathroom usually contain? What does a bathroom usually contain? A bathroom
The bathroom
usually contains
usually
a bath
contains
or
a
shower,
bath, a
a
shower,
toilet,
a
and
toilet,
a basin.
and a basin.
Which do you prefer, baths or showers? Which do you prefer, bath or showers? I prefer
I prefer bath
two
to
showers.
shower.
Very good. What's a rain shower? What's a rain shower? A rain shower
A rain
is
shower
a short period
is a short period
of rain.
of rain.
Very good. Next, repeat mirror.
Mirror
Reflect.
with the
Reflect.
reflect.
Very good. Okay, listen. Mirror is a noun. It is a piece of special glass that you can look at and see yourself in. For example, we usually find a mirror in the bathroom and in the living room. Also in the bedroom, sometimes there's a mirror. Okay. Reflect is a verb. It means to send back light, heat, energy, or sound from a surface. For example, a mirror reflects light. Let's practice. What does a mirror do? What does a mirror do? A mirror
A mirror
reflects light.
reflects light.
In which room in a house do we usually find a mirror? In which room in a house do we usually find a mirror? We usually
We
find a mirror
usually find a mirror
in a bathroom
in the bathroom
or a bedroom.
or a bedroom.
Very good. Okay, now let's have active and passive voice.
Uh,
Okay,
act,
active and
act,
passive voice.
active and passive voice.
Very good. Okay, repeat. Active,
Active,
passive,
passive,
subject,
subject,
object.
object.
Very good. Okay, listen. In the sentence, John broke the window. John is the subject and the window is the object. The verb broke is in the active voice. All the verbs we have practiced up to now have been in the active voice. The active voice communicates that the subject is active and it does the action in the sentence. Okay, next. This sentence, the window was broken by John, the same has the same meaning, but the subject now is the window, and the verb was broken is the in the passive voice. The passive voice communicates that the subject is passive. It does not do the action; it receives it. Okay. Next, let's have to be plus past participle. There we go. To be plus past participle.
To be a past participle
Very good. Next, repeat. By.
by
Very good. Okay, listen. By. Okay. We form the passive voice with the verb to be and the past participle. The verb to be communicates the time, and the past participle says what the action is. We use the word by when we want to say who does the action. In the sentence, the window was broken by John, the word was tells us that the action happened in the past. The word broken tells us the action, and the word by John tells us who did the action. Okay, let's practice. What does the active voice communicate? What does the active voice communicate? The active
The
voice
active voice
communicate that the
communicate
subject
is that the subject
does the action.
does the action.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to our reading.
Okay.
Okay, so our reading is at stage 4, page 238. Last headword was in 3 months' time. Okay, start with the fourth question. Will you go home after the lesson?
Okay. You-
238 in
okay, I can see. Uh, will you go home after the lesson? Yes, I'll go home after the lesson. Where will you be in 6 months' time? I'll be
here.
I'll be
I'll
here.
be here in six
I'll
months'
be
time.
here in 6 months' time.
Very good.